Tank Vapor, and today I'm going to do a nickel build on a sub-tank mini. I'm using 28 gauge nickel wire, 3mm drill bit. I'm going to be doing 8 wraps, and this is a regular coil, not a micro coil. It'll end up coming out to about 0.14 or 0.11 ohms. And this is the build that's been working for me ever since I got my Vapor Shark back. Anything to add?
Needless to say, last night we did experience something with his DNA 40. The screen on his DNA 40 kind of went a little wacky, but kind of fixed itself, so I'm not sure why he's still having issues with that.
The version 2 screen that they sent me, and it's been working for, what have I had it now, 2-3 weeks?
About 2-3 weeks, yeah.
Yeah, last night it just went all scrambled, and then it fixed itself, and I don't know what caused it. But that's the first issue I've had with this new widescreen on it. And it was still vaping, so I don't know.
Well, we're figuring out the only problem that they're having with it right now should be their screen, and we're hoping they can figure that out soon.
All right, I'm
looking around for sub tanks. Where we purchased ours from are from my Vapor Store, in which we ordered with our iStick 50s from the same place.
Yeah.
We got a pretty good deal, so we're really happy with what we got so far.
I got mine for $34.99 at my Vapor. It's my Vapor Shop or my Vapor Store.
I believe
you remember?
It's my Vapor Store.
Vapor Store.
Yeah.
And I got the Nano for like $24.99. I noticed that they went up when I was looking at them again. Northwest Vapes just got them in. They are same price that I got mine for at Northwest Vapes. I haven't been really eyeballing them. I already bought 2, so I don't know if I want another one or not. I have another tank I'm looking at that I think I want to get for a nickel build. But these are working pretty good. At least they were with my original Shark. I'm having more issues with the new Shark. Maybe it's because it's actually working right and my builds aren't. So I'm just using this ohm meter for a base. Usually I use blunt tip needles, but I don't have blunt tip needle this big. This is a 3mm drill bit. And I'm using 28 gauge pure nickel wire. Which I don't even remember where I got this at. I really have a trusty pair of short nail clippers.
Now this is going to be our first of many builds, reviews that we're going to be doing here in the near future. Basically, we're going to have it on 2 different channels. We'll have it on the SRB channel and his Choose personal channel.
Yeah, my personal channel is Chewmeister73. We also have SOB.
Yeah, it'll be SOB.
SOB is our combined channel if we ever get our juice line up and running, which I just work too much and I haven't had a chance to really get into it. Enough for me and my friends to vape, but I haven't been able to mass produce anything. You can fire it and it will make it a little bit stiffer if you want to fire it with your torch. I don't normally fire it with my torch, but you can. I've done it both ways, and I haven't had a real issue with doing it both ways. You are going to need a pair of pliers.
It should work.
Alright. 28 gauge nickel. I do 9 wraps, but it ends up being 8 because you kind of unwrap it after you tighten it. And you don't want them to touch.
And the reason why you don't want to touch is because if it's touching, it'll automatically start almost like it's melting together, and you're not going to get as much flow, which we've had bad experience with on this build.
So that's 9. I think. That's 10. I can't count. Alright, so you just kind of squish it and let it spring back. And you see how I have this gap, but the rest are pretty evenly spaced. So you just kind of just try to get them all pretty even. Now, here's the trick. Grab your pliers. And just give it a good tug. And that will help even all those out, make it a nice tight coil. And now,
Let it go for a second. Let it focus.
that's pretty good. I don't see any overlapping coils. So, now I need them to stick straight out. And this is why I do 9 wraps, because I'm kind of unwrapping it. So you want them straight out. And on a K-Fud, you would put it on this way, and on a sub-tank, you flip it over.
Now, to say this is one of the easier builds that I've experienced with having, I've had a Russian and was not very happy with on how to run that. This is one of the easier builds. It's fast, it's easy.
I don't know if I can get the camera. My fat sausages are in the way. I'll try to do it sideways, maybe.
Well, yeah, hold it
Okay.
there for a second and just hold still, and it should focus in on it.
Well, I'm just trying.
There it goes. Oh,
Okay.
moved.
So,
Basically what it does
when I
is
use Kanthal, I only just put the wire in and tighten the screw down and it locks in. But on this nickel, I wrap it.
you wrap it around.
Yeah, and I don't wrap it all the way around. I just go through one way and back the other. And that makes sure that I have a really good connection. Because you have to have a stable connection or it will not read the temperature. It will still fire, but your temperature control will not work. Or it'll go sporadic on you. I just wrapped the same wire around both posts.
Yeah, they definitely don't want to be doing that.
Yeah, you don't want to do that. Alright. It's the right wire. I'm sorry, even with the new camera, with my giant fat fingers, you're never going to get a good view of what I do. Okay, so I got them both tightened down. The easiest way to make sure that you got a really stable connection is break them off by hand, and you'll see if that coil moves at all, you don't have a good connection on your posts.
That's a good idea.
So, that's that. And then you just lift it up off the deck.
Hold still. There he goes. Yep, perfect.
Just a little bit of air. Make it. And there you go.
That's, yeah, basically what he did is just to make sure he gets the maximum amount of airflow. It gives you the best vape with these sub-tanks.
Yeah, airflow and juice flow is a big deal with that temperature control. If you get either one off a little bit, it'll just shut down on you. It won't burn on you, but it's the opposite. You have totally different issues with nickel that you don't have with Kanthal. You're always worried about burning your wick, and with the nickel build, you're trying to make sure all your flow is working, so it won't turn off on you. And I noticed building the coils is not that hard per se. It's getting your wicking right so everything flows smooth and it doesn't shut down on you. Or I guess wattage down on you, because it won't shut down. Or the DNA 40s won't shut down, they just voltage down. I'm just trying to get that even spaced on both sides of that coil. So there you go, that's the coil. Now we'll throw it on. I already turned the temperature off on this, so I can give it a fire.
Oh, one thing we noticed too with the Vapor Shark, as well as the ice sticks, that it does scratch even with the case on the Vapor Shark. It'll scratch that top area where it sits.
Going inside out, looking good. Almost pretty.
Yeah, it is.
Alright, now take it back off. Well, hold the two buttons. Temperature control. That's not.
There it goes.
I've been setting mine for 450. I think you can go to 460. I can't remember what cotton burns at. It's like 430 or 440. But you are not going to get a burnt wick at all at 450 unless you're using straight dry cotton. So my temperature's set. Now I have to wait a good 5 minutes. Everything has to be completely cooled down for it to start working. So that gives me time to wick this, which is a whole nother pain in the butt. Which, talk amongst yourselves, because I forgot the cotton. Oh, no, I didn't. There it is.
And
I'm using the Kanger.
Yeah, the Kanger cotton is what we're using. We've had the best luck with it.
I have been meaning to try some other organic cottons, but no, it might be a little too big. I peel the outside layers off.
Yeah, so do I.
That they use I don't know, it's like pressed, and you can get it loosened up, it'll work just fine. I just tear the outside layers off. I use about 5 millimeters, that's a little thick.
Just cut a sliver of it off. And what I normally use is I have like a brand new set of scissors when I'm cutting cotton.
Yeah.
It works the best.
And then I'm just rolling it. I don't want it tight, but I need it to fit through.
I roll it too, but on the tip of it that I'm going to put in, I'll roll that, just that tip part of it really tight, just so I can get it to start. And basically you're going to end up cutting it anyway. So, you know, really it kind of helps feeding it, that I've learned. And you always end up cutting that tight roll off anyway.
Yeah. So you just tight roll one end, and it needs, on the nickel, it has to slide pretty freely. You gotta leave room for that cotton to swell up. So that looks pretty good.
And what are you going to be vaping in it?
I'm going to be vaping Snickerdoodle.
Snickerdoodle. Yeah. Our go-to juice. Now you don't want that chimney tight. Basically what I do is as soon as it hits tight, I leave it, and then I put the cut it and everything. You don't want it tight because you'll have a hard time getting it off.
Alright, so I'm taking this off. The other thing, Dale you with is, what is that? I taste 30?
Yep.
Not your 50 though, just your 30?
Just my 30.
Okay, and when my Vapor Shark was out for repairs, I bought a 30 just to get me by, and I was running the Kanthal wire, and I was having the same issue he was, and it wasn't making a good connection. So I figured out that the deck, you have to make sure is screwed in tight. I haven't had that issue with my Vapor Shark or the DNA 50, but I haven't been using the 50 very much. As soon as I got my Shark, I went back to nickel. So just make sure this deck is screwed down as tight as possible, because once you wick it and juice it and prime it and put it all together, it's a pain. You're going to have to re-wick it if you have to pull it apart to screw that deck all the way down into the base.
Now, Matt, I did end up finding out they did do it on my 50 as well, so you really have to make sure it's snug into that base on either one.
Okay. Yeah, I have not had that issue on the Vapor Shark, but I did have that issue on the DNA 30, or DNA 30, the Ice Stick 30. Sorry. Alright. So,
no, I got my Ice Stick 30 from Rock Bottom Vapes. They're a really good company. They hooked me up really good with it. I'm actually enjoying the 30. Mainly I only use my 30 for a backup when my 50's dead. Battery life's okay. I wish it would be more, but it's not.
Wow, I really need a new pair of scissors.
There you do.
Okay, so that's not even. You just need it hanging over just a little bit.
Yeah, you don't want a lot because then it's going to clog up pretty easily. I've ran into that on some of mine.
And really, like, the shorter the wick, the better.
Yeah.
The problem I was having, I've done it a couple different ways, and the best wicking I've gotten is this way. I don't even remember where I seen this. And I call it the bow tie wicking. And you just spread it out like a fan. And then you kind of curl it over and shove it straight down. And you just want it to touch the juice channel.
Basically what I found out too is the tweezers that I use are always closed. You have to push to open them. It's a specialty type tweezer, so I was able to grab on the tip of it and roll it and tuck it in and use my finger to hold it down. And then I just use a needle, blunt needle. I've actually used the screwdriver to stuff it in there. Just don't push too hard. Just kind of get it down in there. Try to make it level with the base. Because when you put the juice in, it's going to compress it down a little more. Really it depends on your feel on how you like to do it, basically.
Yeah, and you're going to have to experiment and see which one's wicking the best for you. I'm using Snickerdoodle today because Snickerdoodle is, even though it's only 50-50 and all the other juices that I've been are all 50-50 too, for some reason that one has the biggest issues wicking. So when I was figuring this out and what was going to work best, that was the juice that I vaped mainly to test it, because if I could get that one wicking, then I could get all the other ones wicking good.
Now, we do use a 50-50 blend on our juices. We only use our personal juice right now. But this is the best that we found it. We're talking maybe going a little thinner. For the fact of cold. We both live in cold climates, especially me, where it can get 40 below zero.
Do you have any issues this winter, Dale?
To be honest with you, no. I've been really shocked. Even being in my jacket pocket, walking around outside, I'm still able to pull. I have not had any dry hits. Maybe once or twice, but I just, pretty much prime it, and it's back to normal.
Okay. I was going to say, I work outside all day, and I was really surprised. On the Pro Tanks, we went back to, 70-30?
Yeah.
During the winter time. I vaped 50-50, and I think the coldest it got here was 10 degrees. and I was just starting to have wicking problems, and that's from being outside all day long. And like he said, I just frickin' turned the airflow off and gave it a couple primer puffs. I am having a heck of a time with that one.
Grab your tweezers and try to roll it in that way. It might help.
All I have are those ceramic ones are too thick.
Oh, okay. Yeah, mine are pretty thin.
Usually I just roll it over the top of the needle and
that one you might have a little. I noticed that one was a little bit shorter than your other one, so I kind of had to see you having a little bit of issue coming on. It takes patience, but it's well worth it in the end.
Yeah, what's stupid is I must have done 5 of these yesterday because I was trying juices, and so every juice I would re-wick the thing. I was doing a bunch of samplers, and I was getting them on the first try, and I was like, man, why was I making this look so hard? It was so easy yesterday, and today, of course, I'm not getting it. Okay, and I call it the bow tie, because after it's done, it kind of looks like a bow tie in there.
Yep.
And it's just touching the top of that juice channel. And you can check, I don't know if you can see the little channels, but there's no, you don't want any of your wick sticking out of that juice channel, because it's basically going to be clogging it. Plug it up, and you will have wicking issues.
Yeah, it won't wick and it'll burn. And just...
So, we're using Snickerdoodle. I'm going to prime it right here.
Now, you don't have to be generous with the juice. I douse it. I have not had a problem with it being flooded. The cotton sucks it right up.
It'll get a little gurgly, but it'll work its way out. So.
Yeah, it'll definitely work its way out, but it's well worth it because then you're not, having a primer puff all the time. You're automatically going right at it.
Fill up my tank.
Oh, Matt, while we're at it, tell them about your new seals and where you can get them.
I will. I'll flip that over after I get it put together. So, what was that called? Magic Lube. Magic Lube?
Let me look it up here.
Alright, so I have 4 kids, and my kids wanted a magic loom. So I bought them one for Christmas so they could make these little rubber band bracelets. Well, those little, they're not latex. What?
Silicone.
Silicone rubber bands work instead of the sub-tank seals, so you can see. I'm sporting Seattle Seahawk colors. So it took 3 rubber bands down, which would be the top here, and 1 rubber band that you have to double over. Because you won't be able to get this one on. It'll push the rubber band over the little spot for the seals, so you just take one and double loop it around there, and then I replaced this one twice, thinking that it was leaking, but it wasn't. It was condensation coming out of the airflow at the bottom. But yeah, so three of those bands here and one doubled over up here, and you can sport whatever color you can find in those magic loom silicone little things.
You can find them in craft stores.
Yeah. I think they even sell it at Walmart, to tell you the truth. I see it at Fred Meyer's that's where I keep buying them. They're always, surprisingly, they use it quite often. And even my teenagers use it. So.
Yeah, so if you really don't want a red, you don't want to see the red, you'd rather have a different color, you can always change it.
The only one I couldn't figure out how to do was this inside one here.
But you don't really notice it, really.
I mean, they fit in there. I was just worried that they're not quite thick enough, and so you'd need too thick, and I wasn't going to mess with it. I didn't want it leaking. Yeah, so make sure your chimney is just barely screwed on. Oh, I screwed that up. I trimmed it. Because these darn things will lock. And this top is really bad about it too. So when you just bam and it stops, don't twist it on tight. You will never get that thing off. You have to run it under cold water forever.
Yeah,
and
it's pretty hard.
Eventually it'll unlock. But I mean, my first one, I was sitting there with pliers. I bent it all up. And it still wouldn't come off. Then I freaking ran it under cold water, and boom, it came undone. So there you have it. And I think that's cooled down long enough.
Yeah, I think you should be alright.
Put the drip tip on, and yes, I'm running with a Delrin drip tip wide bore. These were whistle tips. Is that what these were called?
Yeah.
I got these from Delaware Vapes 3 years ago, and I probably bought like 10 of them. I don't like to put metal in my mouth, and when I first started vaping, I still had old cavities, so metal in my mouth set my mouth on I was shocking. I went and had all my fillings redone, and I still just have this thing where I will not put metal in my mouth.
And basically, it's pleasure, whatever you prefer.
Right, I actually like the look of the new tips that came with them, and I tried to roll with them. I just have this weird phobia, so I went and got my Delrin, and but I love these. This is their, I think this is just their whistle tip, and this is their narrow whistle tip.
Yeah.
I don't even know if they still sell these. I haven't been on Delaware Vapes forever, man. That was back when I first started vaping. That was over 3 years ago, so.
Yeah. I've been to Delaware, and I do believe they still have them.
I might have to buy a couple more, because I noticed I got them stuck on some stuff I was giving away to people. I'm always trying to get people started at work to quit smoking and stuff. So, I know, what am I doing here? Oh, it's locked. Oh, that was the temperature. Darn it. Set the temp. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. New coil up. Got new coil. We are going to start low. I know normally I vape at like 15.5 to 16.5, give or take how the coil's doing. Okay, that was a pretty long draw, and it did not shut down. So it looks out there. I see bubbles coming up, so it is wicking. Let's start bumping up. The other thing about this snickerdoodle, man, you gotta get through a quarter of the tank before you don't taste the wick.
Yeah, it's kind of a touchy juice that we found, but it's our go-to juice.
Do you have that problem with your other juice, Dale?
Magma current,
all the time?
instantaneous.
Banana bread, because I vape snickerdoodle, banana bread, and then I run with a test juice, because I'm always making new juices to try, or new flavors. Snickerdoodle is the only one that you have to work it in. Like, it just doesn't like to wick or something. And it's not a higher VG or anything than any other juice.
It's the consistency of it.
Since I got these, I've always been a mouth-to-lung, and now I'm full lung hit. They work so good. Flavor's so good. And the nickel wire, doing the coil is not complicated. I know everybody says, oh, it's touchy, blah, blah. I was having issues with microcoils. I was running microcoils with my first Vapor Shark. Microcoils in the Davids. So they were basically pro tank coils. Nickel wire micro or nano coil, basically, in this. Was not having an issue. That was my first Vapor Shark that I had. I cannot get a nano or micro coil to work with nickel in the sub-tank RTA. So, it is what it is. But the regular coil works fine. And the biggest issue I was having was finding the size. Once I figured that out, the coil's not hard. It's wicking it. You gotta everything's gotta flow. The air's gotta flow and the juice has to flow, or it will just start shutting your wattage down so it doesn't burn. And once you get all that working together, it's going to be the best vape you can get. You just got to work at it. It takes a little bit more time, but you will never have a dry hit again.
Yeah, like he said, there was one day that we were video chatting, and I seen him go through 8 coils in one shot.
But that was when I was trying to do the microcoils, and I sat all day long just wrapping coils, and they would not work. And I watched other people do micro. They are not having an issue. The problem I was having with the microcoil is it was reading it, and it would start your temperature control, and then it would shut off. And then I'd be like, well, what the heck? I mean, I know that nickel wire, so the resistance is always changing, but it would start reading it, it would start temperature control, and then it would shut temperature control off. It would still let you vape. It would just be like, oh, that's not nickel wire, that's Kanthal. And it would let it go at whatever wattage you set it to. And every one I was doing was having that way. Now, when I was doing the nano coils and the David Pro Tank things, it was reading that just fine. But that was my first Vapor Shark, and I haven't tried it again in the one that they sent me. They couldn't fix my original. They sent me a whole new one. So.
Yeah, one thing about those Vapor Sharks, you really don't...
Of course, I live in a cold climate, and after reading all the blogs, they've been having issues with the DNA 40 chips in cold climate areas. And I live in Oregon. It's not that cold here. The problem is it just happened to be during winter when I got it. And it was freaking cold. And I didn't even have it a week.
Yeah, that's why I'm not even going to attempt to get it until they can fix that issue. Because my climate is way colder than his. Minnesota, it's blistering cold. We're always cold.
Right. Yeah, it's not. I mean, this winter was cold for a week? I mean, it got cold though. Colder than normal.
Yeah.
And now it's like warmer than normal. So I had to put something up to block the sun because it's sunshine all over the place.
And they were forecasting.
My heater was on at 5 this morning, though, when I got up. So, and I think it's cold out today. I went outside. But it's gorgeous. So that's what I got. It's vaping already. It's doing its job, and the temperature sense will go off. And right now, this is the best build I found in this for the nickel wire. 3mm drill bit, 8 wraps. The bow tie, quick. With the Kojindo, I don't have the regular organic cotton that Dale has. I only have Kojindo.
Well,
I only peel these outside pieces. I know it's 2 pieces put together, but the Kojindo, they use some kind of, they press the outside, and so you either have to get this kind of loosened up so it will wick as good as the rest of the cotton. They press this with like a wire, it's like wire teeth. So I just don't.
Basically,
I've used it outside, but I usually like keep rolling it in my hand to kind of get it loosened up a little bit. I don't roll it to get it, I don't roll it to get it tight. I roll it to kind of get it loosened up so it'll be as fibrous as the rest of the Kojindo, because the inside of it is gorgeous, but I have so much of it, I will throw that away. I don't even care. I only have enough to last me a lifetime. I don't know how many pieces you buy. I bought I don't know how many pieces are in there.
Well,
but I've used like 5.
Yeah.
And I've been using the Kojindo for over a month, 2 months, and I've used 5 squares of it. I've given away what I've used. And this bonehead, I sent him 20 squares, and he went and bought more.
Yeah. So I'm good for life for a while. No, I use a Kojindo too. I basically do the same thing he does and throw it away. I just rather not have to deal with it. It just worked that much better.
Alright, so how are we wrapping this up?
Well, basically, this is our test for our build for the RDA Kanthal or Kanger build. It works awesome for them. I can't wait till they make a shark that can handle the cold, so I can get it myself. Like I said, we will be doing more reviews as later on as time goes on. But yeah, we will be showing more and more builds as we get into more and more things. We're looking into possibly building off the pre-built coils that came with the Kanger sub-tank, but we're looking into more and seeing how they're built. Anything to add on that?